What do you mean? You just like lock in. I just want to share how I do it, and hopefully that can help somebody. Hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. I'm feeling very cinematic. We're at the Hidden Lab and we're talking about mental health. She's talking about mental health again, guys. Yes, she is. And I wanted to give a little cozy vibe and just do a little check-in. Let me bring you in closer. Yeah, that's much better. So I wanted to talk a little bit about mental health because it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I am very open and transparent about my mental health. And to be quite honest with you guys, I wasn't really feeling it today. I was like, I don't feel like making a video. I don't feel like talking, and that is precisely, I feel like, when you should push yourself out of your comfort zone just so you can like manage whatever you got going on. So for me, that is ADHD, and I have some notes that I want to talk about. So this week, I just want to do a little check-in with YouTube instead of my usual vlog. I just want to first and foremost say thank you so much to everyone for all the love on my vlogs. I have been posting consistently since January of this year, back again, because I used to post a long time ago. And it's been helping my mental health a ton to just record my, my weeks, my weekends, and edit and post them. And it's good documentation for me to go back and watch because I am living in like super transformative times right now. I'm a small business owner. I own a coffee shop in New Rochelle, New York called Casa Roma, and we are currently under renovations. So that has brought up a lot for me. Like it's a big transitional period. It's like we're moving into the next chapter, and life is lifing. It's a lot going on. So doing the vlogs has been a really good creative outlet for me, but also it brings you into the story, and it's good documentation for me to look back. I love looking back at memories, looking back at journeys. It's one of the reasons why I journal, because I like to go back and read them also. But yeah, it's just been pretty great doing like YouTube again and being embraced by you all with such like warmness and just like amazing vibes, amazing energy. I do want to wish everybody a happy Mental Health Awareness Month. I don't know what that means. I guess just like wish you a month full of hopefully reflection and peace and understanding and acceptance of your struggles and whatever you're going through, and know that you're not the only one. Hopefully this month we're able to connect with other people who might know what you're feeling, or just on their own journey, but have the capacity to hold space and understand other people's journey. I think that the month is super important to just take stock of like, what's going on? Is this working? What's not working? What can I do to make things better, etc., etc. So take the month and do whatever it is that you need to fill your cup. So how am I feeling right now? Again, very stressed. I lead a very busy life with my cafe, so I am feeling a little bit stressed right now. We've been under renovations, and like we had to close the shop to get out of the way so everybody can like finish their work, the construction and everything. And it's just gone a bit longer than I anticipated, and I am like out of routine. I'm out of whack. The shop is closed, which is just not great. I'm feeling it. I'm not feeling amazing today per se. Like yesterday, for example, I had a great day. The day before, actually the day before yesterday was Mother's Day, and like I went to the city to support a friend opening her cafe. It was like a nice, beautiful, sunny day out. I got coffees and like flowers, and it was just like a wonderful day. So again, not every day is gonna be great. Not every day is gonna be horrible. But today I'm just like, meh. Let me bring it back to why we are here today. And I have notes because I tend to yap out of control. So if you're new here, hi, welcome. After I yapped your head off, I'm Yadi. I'm the owner of Casa Roma Cafe, which is a specialty Dominican coffee shop in New Rochelle, New York. We've been open 3 years, and we're currently under renovations to kind of like open up the space and have more programming. So more events, more evening programming. So like maybe doing some cocktails and some appetizers. We currently have a couple of clubs, which include book club, crochet club, So it's a community space. Aside from Casa Roma being a Dominican cafe, we always emphasize, it's a community space. So we open the space to gather, to have people come together, spend time together, share our culture, and, problem solve, connect, like all these amazing things. Our mission is culture, community, and collaboration. So those are the things that we live by at the cafe, and that's what drives us and everything that we do. So I'm pretty excited about this next phase because it just means more of that. So super exciting stuff. But again, with the growth and the change, there are growing pains. So I have 2 business partners and a small team of six or 7 baristas. We also do events, so we are hired to do catering events at times. We do community events. My partner also owns this space here, which is called the Hidden Labs. It's a production studio in Rochelle. So we work with them. We work with Hidden Labs. We work with like other friends and their businesses. We're just very community driven, so always collaborating with others. So it's a lot. We got a lot going on at all times. As a woman, as a girly with ADHD and anxiety, I prioritize my well-being at all times. And everybody that I work with, everybody that I come in contact with knows that. So I'm always very vocal about my mental health, very vocal about what I'm feeling, how it's affecting me, what I need to operate, what I need to be creative. And I'm lucky enough to have partners to understand that and that work with me on that. But some days it's just a struggle to like even show up for myself, even advocate for myself and say those things out loud. So I wanted to make a video just talking about it because I'm sure I'm not the only one. So my experience as a small business owner that manages anxiety and ADHD, unmedicated by the way, and that's by choice. I do have a therapist that I see and I work with. We meet on a bi-weekly basis at this point. We were at some point meeting on a weekly basis. But I wanted to see how I did with like a little bit more spread out meetings and sessions. And I wanted to tap into my other tools. So I want to talk about those tools. So for someone like me who's a creative, but also has like very rigid and very like concrete things that need to be done to operate a cafe, my tools include therapy, movement of my body. So whatever that means, maybe that means going to hot yoga, which I do 2 to 3 times a week. Maybe that means diversifying that and going to a bar, which I did yesterday. Going on long walks, sitting in the sauna, stretching my body. So just movement of the body when I feel stagnant energy is extremely important for me. And also some of my other tools include like rules around like what we're meeting about. Like I can't have a meeting and just sit down and talk. We need to have either a working meeting where we're coming up with something on the spot and like we will have that at the end of the meeting, and they cannot be longer than 45 minutes because my brain just cannot compute what's going on. It needs to be short, it needs to be straight to it, and we need to have results at the end of it because working in corporate, I would sit in meetings for hours and hours and hours, people just talking, and I can guarantee you like it's not productive. Like we get out of there and like nothing happened, nothing came out of it. So it just feels like such a waste of my time. So now that I have the privilege of like kind of shaping things how I want them to be, I'm like, I'm not doing meetings that are not that. I also have a very strong barriers or like boundaries around access. So my phone, for example, is on Do Not Disturb. I try my best to not be extremely accessible to like phone calls or texts. Of course, some of them come through and I have to look at them. With my ADHD, the problem sometimes is not so much like having to respond, for example. Like I can see, some people are like, oh, I have an inbox full of emails. Like it doesn't matter. I don't care. For me, everything that comes through, every notification, everything that I see opens up a tab in my mind, whether it is insignificant or not. Like if I see it, it automatically opens something in my mind. So I try not to see it. And that also sometimes means I'm not looking at my emails. Like, I'm sorry, like sometimes I'm just like, I can't even like open it up because it's too much. And I have an amazing partner who manages our business email. And if it's important, he has certain filters on there that if it's for me to see, I will get it. And even sometimes like he will just relay the message to me, which is like so amazing. I know not everybody has that, but the tabs in my mind are like beyond. So what other tools do I have? So creative outlets, like I said, making the YouTube, making the videos, editing them, setting out time for me to be creative is extremely important, because I need to have like whimsy. I need to have a creativity flow for me to like purge what's in my mind so I can then go and activate work mode. I am not the person who could just wake up and like open a laptop and just like go to work. And it was like one of the main struggles that I had when I worked corporate, because what do you mean you just like lock in? Like I can't. And sometimes, going into the office, it's like you use the commute to kind of like get ready for it, which was helpful. But then working from home, it was just like, oh, you just wake up and you do this. So I'm like, no, I need to wake up with extra time so I can like do a little workout, make a little breakfast, make a coffee, go for a walk, do something before I have to like lock in. So having room, like having space to just be, to breathe, to do whatever is extremely important to me. Because if I feel confined or if I feel restricted, I want to flee and shut down. Like I just want to like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. I can't do it. Like it is a phenomenon, like how my brain is just like, if I feel like I have to do something right away, I physically can't do it. So I know that about myself, so I'm able to work around that frame and just give myself extra time, give myself extra space. And I think that as an entrepreneur who makes her own schedule, ADHD can be kind of like a superpower in that sense, because I'm learning how to work with it and I have the flexibility with my business to put things to the test. Like the meeting thing, I'm like, I can't, if this is going to be a long meeting and I'm not needed there, my partner can go and then he can fill me in. In another role or another job, you maybe won't have that flexibility because you have to be at certain things. So I really don't take that for granted. I really take advantage of, the framework of like my role in my job and use it to my advantage. I have a blank canvas of like what a role should be. So why not make it work for me? You know what I'm saying? So I'm really fortunate in that sense to just like be able to figure out my schedule and kind of work it into my life and not build my life around a job or a schedule, if that makes sense. So the past couple of weeks, since we were doing renovations at the coffee shop, I really had to hone in and like lock in and like really put these tools to the test, because my routine was completely disrupted. I didn't have my coffee shop, which I use as obviously a third space or a workspace. I didn't have that to go to, and I also didn't have the schedule. There was construction going on at the shop, there was pop-ups happening, my partner is still going into work and doing things, and I just had to like really put these things to the test. And the weather, I don't know if this is a mental health thing. I don't know if it's an ADHD thing, or maybe it's just because I'm Caribbean. The weather has such a huge impact on how I go about the day and how my mood is. So the weather in New York City has been so crappy. So I'm like, wake up, the day is gloomy, and I don't have a routine, I don't have a schedule. I'm like, that's it. The day's in the trash. We're done. We're not going to do this. You know what I'm saying? But I really had to set a new schedule. So during this transition, I made a new schedule. I'm like, I'm going to wake up every single day at 7 a.m. no matter what is going on, no matter if I have something to do or not. I'm just going to set an alarm. So I did that every day. And what I've been doing is just waking up and just grabbing my book, which I leave like on the side of my bed, and just reading until 8 o'clock when I get up to feed the cats. So in the past, I would have used that hour to like just ferment an anxiety laying there, or just jump out of bed and like be like, I don't have anything to do, and like start spiraling. Not having an alarm, sometimes you wake up and it's just like a weird hour. I need to have pockets of time designated to certain things. And sometimes those pocket of times look like just like, oh, I just have an hour so I can do whatever. And like I decide to do whatever in the hour, but I need to know that I have the hour. It's so strange. Like I just need to know kind of like frame by frame what's going on so I can shape my days and feel good about them. So sometimes I know that I'm going to have something in the evening. So I take the morning to relax and I take the day to just do whatever it is that I need to do. Or sometimes if I have like a pop-up in the morning and I have to work, I'm like the rest of the day, I'm done. Like I need to rest, I need to decompress. And then if that day I end up feeling better, I can always just do something in the evening. But I don't like to overbook myself because again, I'm the one making my schedule. So why would I set my schedule to be something that I just cannot keep up or like that feels not sustainable to me? So I think that awareness is a huge thing when it comes to ADHD because you have to know kind of like how your brain works and work with it and not against it, I believe. So that's what I do. And that's what I've been doing this past couple of weeks again with the new journey of the coffee shop and stuff. So it's just what I do. I don't like to tell people how to manage their ADHD or how to manage their anxiety. I just want to share how I do it and hopefully that can help somebody. So yeah, this is just kind of like a yap, a little check-in. So just to recap a couple things, I have shared a couple of my tools and how I operate on a day-to-day basis. I do want to acknowledge that women are not diagnosed with ADHD until like later in life. And I was definitely diagnosed in my late 20s. And the diagnosis really took me by storm. Like I knew something was up, but I was diagnosed after college, after I graduated, after I went through all of that. And I was like really angry about it because I wish that I had been diagnosed before so I can navigate my diagnosis while in college. And like maybe if I was diagnosed during school, I wouldn't have had such a hard time, But again, I'm just happy that I was diagnosed when I was diagnosed. But it was definitely tough being in school because it turned me into an overachiever. It turned me into a people pleaser, and it turned me into somebody who just does not know how to stop and how to rest. And that's what I'm dealing with now in my 30s. I'm 33 and I just don't know when to take a beat. So that's why I push so hard for rest and for free time and relaxation and downtime. Even if I do decide to like use the downtime to do something else, I'm just like, I just need to know that I have downtime. It's something that I'm trying to manage and learning as I go. And we're going to get it. We're going to figure it out. But again, I just want to acknowledge the fact that I'm very privileged in like owning a business and making my schedule and being in my 30s. I think that's a huge advantage. Like when you're in your 20s, undiagnosed, on survival mode, a lot can go down. So if you are watching this and that's you, just give yourself a little grace, give yourself a little extra time. If you feel like you have something or you feel like something is maybe holding you back from operating the way that you want to operate, like you feel some sort of like blockage when it comes to your maybe productivity or the way that you operate, I highly encourage you to maybe just dive deeper into mental health and like talk to a professional and see what they might think about it. Because I was on this journey of well-being and, like mental health, and I started going to therapy when I was in college just to kind of help me navigate all of that and help me navigate like the stress of like being a full-time student and working full-time and all of childhood trauma and like a bunch of stuff. And in that journey, I was able to see myself in a different light and also look at other things like the way I operate and the way I work and the way that my brain works and how that's not necessarily wrong. It's just different. So learning how to do that. But I think that the avenue for me to really take care of myself and like really take my mental health and my well-being seriously was definitely starting therapy while I was in school. So I highly encourage anybody to just take a little step to navigate your mental health, whatever that means. Like I said earlier, I have a bunch of tools. I journal, I work out, I go to yoga, I like to go on walks, I like to talk about my feelings, I like to process my feelings with others. So if I'm feeling something towards you, I like to have a conversation. I like to talk about it. I really like to draw. I like to paint. make things like with my hands. I like to make content. So I have a lot of tools. I have a little toolbox and I just go in there and see what I need the day of. It was definitely a journey for me to get to this place, and I don't think I'm done. I think that like the journey to mental health and like well-being is something that goes on, and as you change and as you evolve as a person, what you need might change as well. Like right now, I'm a business owner. So that's kind of like I'm navigating that. But once I have children, I'll be navigating motherhood. And once, the kids are getting older, and once they get out the house, and like everything is just going to change and evolve. And I'm confident that me just diving into mental health will definitely benefit and like help me navigate all of that in the different phases of life. Like, I don't think I'll ever, I don't know. Some people like graduate from therapy. I don't know if I'll ever do that. I did definitely stop going on a weekly basis and now bi-weekly. I don't know. Maybe I'll stop, because I definitely think that talk therapy sometimes can be a little bit like, what are we doing here? But I don't think that I'll ever stop kind of, how do I say this? I don't think I'll ever stop tending to my ADHD and my anxiety in whatever way that means. So I highly encourage anyone out there feeling a little off, feeling a little wacky, to just dive into, some solutions, see what you can do, see what's out there, and see what works for you. Because at the end of the day, we're all going through something. We're all struggling with something. And I think it's important to acknowledge that and to be like, okay, this is what I'm struggling with. What can I do about it? Like, how can I live with this without it stopping me from achieving my goals and being great and being happy and fulfilled and like knowing peace? Because sometimes it gets crazy up here. Like it gets a little, and that's okay. That's okay. Just know that you're not the only one, and like you can navigate this. There's a lot of tools out there. You just got to find the ones that work for you. And that's why I'm always like, this is what I do. This is what I got. Maybe you can figure it out. Maybe you could do your own thing. I don't know. I just want to give myself a shout out because I've been holding myself down. You know what I'm saying? I just want to give myself a shout out because I have been able to figure out what's going on, and I've been able to find solutions and find tools that work for me without me compromising my ideas, without me compromising my values and compromising anything about me. I've been able to find what's going to help me show up the way that I want to show up. It just helps me show up authentically and transparently. And a lot of it has to do with like shedding of shame and just being like, listen, this is what's going on. Or I don't even have to, I think I've gotten to a point where I don't even have to explain myself too much. Like I feel like in the past I was definitely over explaining and oversharing because I don't want to be misunderstood. And I'm at a point where I'm like, whoever's meant to understand me will understand me, And if you don't understand me and you don't make an effort to understand me, then what are we doing? Like if you want to understand me, if you don't understand me but you want to, you can always just make a little effort to understand. But I'm no longer trying to be understood, if that makes sense. But yeah, shout out to me for holding myself up, doing what needs to be done, and always believing and confiding in my skills and my ability to just always know what is best for me and getting it done. And going into every situation confident and knowing that I can do hard things and things will work out the way they're meant to work out. Big ol' yap about mental health, but again, take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for allowing me the space to talk about this stuff. And I'm always going to talk about mental health because it's important to be transparent and it's important to talk about these things so people know that you're not the only one. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you guys for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you at the next video. Shout out to Hidden Lab. Look at this. Look at this lighting. Bye.